This camera is really at a weird angle. Hang on, let me lower you guys a little bit. There we go. I think that's a little better. Maybe not. That's a little better. No, that's a little better. Yeah. I'm filming at the worst time of day, and there is such a glare in my glasses, but we're gonna have to deal with it because, yeah.
Hey guys, it's Maggie, and today we're having a little discussion video. We are going to talk about reading goals and things of the sort. I don't know where I'm going with this. I haven't made a script. Reading goals is like everyone's thing, I guess. Everyone knows if you have a Goodreads account at the beginning of the year, you make an ambitious reading goal and you make it your goal. I'm saying goal a lot. You make it your goal to finish by the end. I'm not going to finish my goal this year. I've been really struggling with that. I have 16 books to read this month if I want to stay on track. That's not gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen unless I really force myself to read when I get on winter break. That might happen unless I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
I'm also holding my illustrated Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban because I just got it and it's literally the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen in my life. That's not a good representation. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Aha! See? Fancy. No. I actually haven't really gone through this. I always have like a favorite chapter, and I haven't done one yet. Ooh, what is that? No? Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I'm not gonna hit my reading goal this year. That is something I've been struggling to come to terms with. I have not changed my reading goal in any way. My reading goal was 60 books. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Let's look and see what my past reading goals were, shall we? In 2015, I read 39 books, and my goal was 25, so I was 156%. 2016, so last year, I read 57 out of 50, which is 114, and this year, I am 11 books behind schedule, and I am on 44 out of 60. So I really need to get my act together, and if I don't finish this year, it'll be the first year of not finishing my reading goal. And that shouldn't bother me, but it does. And I'm trying to think of why this bothers me. I think because we as readers, especially BookTube and Bookstagram, we make competitions out of everything. I think Ariel Bissett did a video about this recently, about like competitive BookTube. See, even Harry agrees with me. How we make everything so competitive because we want to do what everyone else does. We want to be mainstream. We want to read books everyone's reading. And so reading becomes almost a chore for us instead of like a hobby, and that's not really what it should be. It should be something that we love to do and something we want to do. And for me personally, I have been in reading slump after reading slump this year, and the only reason I've made it this far in my reading goal is because in my children's lit class this semester we read like a children's book a week. That's the only reason I've made it. And I have so many books I want to read, but I just don't want to read them, or I start them and stop. When it comes to reading books that I choose, I'm not really choosing. And I don't know why. This is getting really philosophical. It's just like, as I look on my bookshelves, like, there's a trend here of books that I tend to read. It's usually dystopian, or fantasy. And by fantasy, it's usually urban fantasy. As I look at my Percy Jackson and Mortal Instruments shelves, they each have their own shelf. And contemporary books I'm very picky on for some reason. But for sci-fi, I mean, Fifth Wave is right there. I could reread that book all day, every day. And I probably will at some point. But I already reread it once this year, and I don't think it'll count if I reread it again. Lunar Chronicles, like, I have all these books that I love, but then all these new books are coming out, and I'm just like, meh. Like, not that I'm not interested, but I just like, nah. And then I feel like an outsider. Like, I didn't post on my Bookstagram for like 3 months because I just wasn't interested in reading, and I wasn't gonna force myself to read when I wasn't interested, you know? So I feel like reading goal is a good thing in a way, but if we overextend ourselves, we kind of subconsciously realize we're not gonna finish, and we're like, well, then I'm just not gonna read at all. At least that's how I am, and so I guess I'm not gonna read at all. Maybe I will. Like, when's the last time I've done a reading wrap-up video? I mean, part of it is because I lost track of where I was on that thing, but other part is because I just haven't been reading. I mean, okay, yes, I read 44 books this year. That's huge. That's way more than a lot of people that aren't in the Bookstagram, BookTube community read. But when we are in these communities, people are reading like 150 books. And I'm like, dear God, how can you do that? How? I mean, I'm, you know, a university student getting 2 degrees, 2 part-time jobs. This actually, I guess, is the 3rd part-time job. I have family and friends and a social life that doesn't even exist, but a social life I would like to pretend to exist. But there's just no time to read. And like, I don't even have time to go to the movies. I still haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thor 3, and like, everyone knows I'm a huge Marvel fan. Okay, it's just one of those days. I started Lord of the Rings over the summer, and I told myself I'd finish it in the summer, and I'm still on chapter 12. That's all I have to say. Just talking about reading goals. A little rant. A little chat, if you will. I'm just having a chat with myself and my cat, who's not even looking at me. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next week. Bye!